Hi, my name is Joe Kempe with the iPod Repair Clinic. Today we're going to show you how to reassemble an iPod. This particular one is going to be an updated iPod. What we're going to do is install a 256 gigabyte flash drive. And I'm going to show you exactly, and we're going to also change colors, change face colors. So we're kind of doing a couple of upgrades while we're reassembling. If you take a look at what I have before you, this is essentially a disassembled iPod. And I'm going to go through each part and I'm going to show you how easily they fit together. Okay, the first thing you're going to want to do is take the motherboard. The motherboard is a 2008. That how you know it's a motherboard for a 7th generation. We're going to insert the click wheel in the motherboard and we're going to close the gate. We do that with our fingers, no tools. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to place the motherboard on the frame. And what you're going to want to do is put it in and make sure that it finds the proper holes. And then we're going to fasten it with 2 small screws right in the middle of the frame. This holds the motherboard in place. Now on this particular iPod, I put a rubber bumper because the iPod center button was a little low. So I just took a little, kind of like a thick electrical tape, and I placed it on the button. Then you're going to want to place the button into the click wheel and kind of rotate it until you find where it locks in. I'm going to use a little gravity to hold it down. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to place the LCD in place. Now, a lot of the Chinese vendors don't use the backing plate. It's really important that there be a backing plate on the LCD. I just placed it in place. I'm holding everything with one hand. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the face on. You can see how easily it's all going together, okay? Make sure that the LCD is in place and it's nicely centered. Turn it over. Then you're going to place the flex cable for the LCD into its proper connector. Going to close it down, fingers only, no tools, all right? Next thing you're going to do is make sure everything locks down nicely. Everything is in place. Then you're going to put in the hard drive cable. Hard drive cable usually has a small adhesive strip across the bottom. It keeps it more secure. You're just going to place it in to its socket. Be very gentle not to kink it or anything like that. Close the gate. No tools. Fingers only. Okay? Next thing you're going to do is we're going to introduce the iFlash adapter, and we're going to insert a 256. This one is a micro SD. We're putting the micro SD in the adapter, putting it into the Solo. This is a iFlash Solo. You could use the quad, you could use the dual. I like the Solo. What you're going to do then is insert the flex cable into the adapter's connector, and you push side to side, make sure the flex cable is in all the way, and you push it down with your finger. You used a little tool. All right, I'll give you that. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to introduce the headphone jack. Now, I've already installed the headphone jack on this nice new back. This particular back has 160 gig etched in it, but you can get one with a 256 etching. I just didn't have one available, but I've ordered many of them in my days. Okay, so all is now connected. I like using the pads from the old hard drives. What I do is I remove the pads very gently, and the reason why I do this is because I don't want this thing shaking around inside. I've got my bumpers here. These are the little blue bumpers. I'm going to set them on the sides of the pull it out 1 second. I'm sure. Try not to lose any parts when you put these things back together, because there's a reason for all of these things. And you want to put the larger one on the left and the smaller one on the right. And then you're going to kind of lock it down. And it should just fit there. These are nice and locked down. Last thing you're going to do is introduce the battery, install the battery. What I typically do is expose half of the adhesive, because I do not want adhesive on the hold flex. Place it in place. Okay, what I'm going to do now is just gently insert the battery terminal into battery lead wire into the terminal, and you see it's already waking up. Once we're satisfied that it's all working and waking up, then we can put the screws on and we can clip it closed. So we're going to wait for it just to boot up for a second here. It's a 256 flash, which is probably going to be about 230 gig. You choose the language, and then we go to settings. Yes, click wheel's working. 232 gigabytes free. So once you're satisfied, you can go ahead and put the screws back, the 6 screws that hold down the face. And I'm going to do that very quickly. I don't use any power tools, just use a high quality screwdriver, a little magnetized screwdriver. Okay. And I like working on a dark surface because it's really easy to find your screws. So you may want to do that. And it's very, very nice and soft, so it's not going to scratch the face. But when you have these brand new faces, you never want to pull off the protective plastic until you're ready. All right. All right, that one's a little bit difficult. Being difficult. Okay, put this guy where it belongs. It's being very difficult. Sometimes the screws are just a little stripped, so you just got to help them out a little bit. Gotta be very careful. Yeah, this is slightly stripped. So sometimes you just have to have a bag of screws on the side. And there you go. Wow. Okay, there we go. All right, and that's it. We have a new face, a 256 gigabyte flash drive installed on a 7th generation iPod Classic. It's a wonderful iPod. I feel 256 is probably the sweetest amount that you can put on this. I've seen 512, I've seen 1 terabyte, but there's always these little quirky problems. 256 is the sweet spot. Thank you again for joining me on another one of iPod Repair Clinic videos, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video.